Hello and welcome to Model Dads. Thanks to Will, we're going to be taking a look at the recently released 15mm Churchill from the Plastic Soldier Company. The Plastic Soldier Company's Churchill set contains 5 tanks, with each sprue having the option to build either the Mark III, Mark IV, Mark V 95mm closed support or Mark VI 75mm variants, as well as a Mark III AVRE, and comes in at £19.50 or just £3.90 per tank. As you might expect, each hard grey sprue contains a range of optional plastic parts, including the 6-pounder, 75mm and 95mm gun barrels, the 290mm petard spigot mortar for the AVRE, cast and welded turrets with the opportunity to model hatches open and closed, with or without front and or rear mudguards, additional track sections, stowage, signal flags, extra fuel tank and a 2-piece commander. A separate double-sided instruction sheet is included, but there's no decals. Apologies for the white background, but as you can see, parts are very cleanly tooled with very little flash and virtually no mould lines. Fine sprue gates ensure parts separate easily and require little tidying up. Unfortunately, some of the external surfaces suffer from sink marks on the side escape catches, spare fuel tank and closed turret hatch, which I've had to fill, whilst a fourth is covered by the exhaust. The right side of my cast turret also has a nasty scratch. Aside from these blemishes, details are clear, crisp and accurate as far as I can tell. I've learned to be a little sceptical about Plastic Soldier Company's instruction sheets, and the Churchill is no exception. Inconsistencies in colour coding aside, pay careful attention to which blanket box you want to model, as 2 are included. If you want to represent your Churchill without the front mudguards as illustrated for the Mark III, be prepared to undertake some judicial cutting, as the pieces supplied won't enable you to do this without out of the box. As always, dry fitting is a must when building these kits. I found that the cast turret's mount for the 75mm gun required a little work if you want the parts to fit comfortably. Similarly, if you're building a Mark III AVRE, be prepared for further careful trimming when you fit the petard. The good news is that if you're happy with the Mark IV's cast turret, you can make the Mark III's welded turret from the same sprue. The bad news is the one thing that will be missing is the loader's hatch. With recourse to your bits box or some plastic card, you'll be able to model it open or closed, but it would have been nice to see an extra hatch modelled on the sprue. These oversights aside, the 4-stage build is designed to be straightforward and conceals all obvious joints. I've chosen to model the rarer Mark IV with 75mm gun, as well as a Mark III AVRE turret, which took around 30 minutes. Detail is excellent, and this is particularly true of the rear upper hull, the front upper hull, turret and coaxial 7.92mm Besser MG. My only niggle is that there isn't enough spare track links and stowage to give my Churchills that characteristic lived-in look. I'll have to see what I can cannibalise from other kits to jazz things up a bit. Speaking of which, compatibility-wise, the finished kit is spot on for scale, weighing in at 7.3cm in length and 3.2cm wide. I only have Forged in Battles Churchills for comparison, review to follow shortly. Forged in Battles Churchill is marginally smaller, but this isn't as noticeable as the Scenic Base, which raises Forged in Battles Churchill higher than the Plastic Soldier Company's. As always, I'm likely to swap the crew figure for one of Battlefront's tank commanders to ensure compatibility with my infantry. It's good to see that the problem with the Plastic Soldier Company's Cromwell antenna mount preventing the commander's hatch from fully opening has been resolved on this subsequent kit. Overall, this is a decent kit that offers good value for money. Perhaps my expectations have been raised a little too high with Plastic Soldier Company's previous kits, but I feel the Churchill suffers from some uncharacteristic surface blemishes and ongoing inconsistencies or errors in instruction sheets that just prevents an unqualified endorsement. Quality control issues aside, the range of options and variety available for the price is second to none, and if you want to model Mr Churchill's tank, I couldn't think of a better place to start. Recommended.